Before you begin your design, it's good to do some competitive analysis. Looking at what others have done for similar products can give you both ideas to emulate and ways to differentiate your design from what already exists in the marketplace. We're going to look at 3 book covers and their use of photo editing, type selection, and integrating the type with the photography. Now on the first image, you can see that this pink and white, clear stands out against the dark background. Now it's possible the photo was this way from the beginning, but it's also possible that the designer took the photo and darkened the bottom to make sure that the text would stand out on top of it. It could have also been extended down here to fit the full length of the design. Now the type that's been chosen for this design is a light modern font that's both active and sporty. And the variations in size and color, they sequence the different chunks of copy. So the title is the first thing that pops out at you because of its size. And then the content is ranked even within lines and scaled accordingly. So for example, you can see this with down here. It's not an important word, and so it's been made smaller. It's where the title, the author's name pops out larger, and then we have to assume that this second author is less important than the first because his name has been made smaller. You'll notice within this line, creator of is less emphasized than the pink the pose method. And so by this careful stylization of type, the type has been grouped in ways to make it easier to read and understand. Now the second image, it appears to be a composite. If you look closely, you can notice that these runners are perfectly evenly spaced. It's not likely that these are actual runners. It probably these are composited from multiple photos and spaced in here. It's really a constructed image. Notice also there's this nice big sky up at the top. More than likely this was also extended by the designer so that to make room for the typography. Now they've chosen to use, the designer used a very bold font for the title that really brings attention to the title of the book. And then there's smaller tips. So once this title and the colors and the imagery has grabbed the reader's attention, then they can explore it a little further. They can read about how Bob is the guru of shoeless running, and they can read these other things that credential the author and make them seem more important or more credible. Now in this third image, the last one we're going to look at, the text or the copy covers most of the image. There's only very little of the original photograph that shows up over here and over here on top. And this creates a challenge for the designer. You think, you don't want the copy just to cover your photo completely. So how do you solve that? Well, the designer has solved that by erasing this text strategically in a way that makes this hand appear to be in front of it. And down here, the leg weaves under and over the graphic elements. And over here, it's over and under. So you get this interesting basket weave effect. Now, a serif and sans serif font are used in this design. So a serif font is this font down here and this font down here. The serifs specifically are these little details on the end. Traditionally, these are said to improve legibility because they connect one letter to the next letter. Although on screens it's said that sans serif fonts are actually easier to read because the serifs tend to break down on screens because the resolution isn't as high as on a printed page. The serif fonts have a more classic look, so the variation also kind of varies the tone of what's being said in the different sections as well. The circle at the top is another element, another way of grouping the text. Now, circles and seals are very common on books because they give the impression of an award, some kind of Reader's Choice Award or other type of credential that's commonly seen on books. So you'll see circles and seals and things like that a lot. I hope these 3 examples can give you some ideas as how to approach the assignment, and look forward to see what you produce this week.